We're talking to Joshua Maponga, discussing topical issues that affect our societies and our communities. I want to talk about an issue that is related to hurting, violence against women. What is the problem with African men that will end up hurting what the Bible calls the weaker species? Why would men hurt? And what are your thoughts around the recent violent episodes against women?
The African male species is on a corner. It's like a snake that has been pushed to a corner.
Okay.
And he feels he can strike anything that is coming to attack him. Economically, he has been sidelined.
Okay.
Religiously, he is powerless. Culturally, he is powerless. And politically, he's just being led where he's going. We are not built like that as Africans. We had territory, we had places of jurisdiction. We have now even in our own homes, you are this, or your own children, you can't do anything. And I'm not condoning anything, but I'm saying in terms of our psyche, the civilization has moved so fast to your child can say hi on WhatsApp and they would think that they've greeted you. Whereas as an African, I still expect you as a young one, when you see me on the corridor to say, hello, Dad. But they say, but we were speaking on WhatsApp. I says, no. In my head, I have not yet fast forward
calibrated
to say we are there. So firstly, let's look at the male species that is actually cornered. The women empowerment issues, the girl child policies, and all these things that are happening. Firstly, we must understand that they have put the African male at a disadvantage of his own family. In fact, he's as good as a sperm donor. Okay. After that, stand aside, you are a father figure. And I'm not figuring for nobody. That's the problem.
Right.
And when you refuse to figure, then you want to enact your responsibility. But on the issue of violence, the African male acting in that species, the government does not make it easy. Churches don't make it easy. They are now also implementing policies of equality, and etc. And at the end of the day, all these crimes are being done by men.
But how do we bring it down to the action of actually killing?
Yes. All these actions are being done by men.
All right.
And instead of all organizations going back to Genesis 1, let us make men.
All right.
We have formulated women's organizations and children's organizations to talk about violence, but really who is violent? The men are violent. So maybe initially the first step will be, we need to change the whole system and begin to look. I did a crime prevention in Bothaville with some of the policemen there, specifically looking at men and what is our problem, gentlemen? How can we love our issues of employment, for example, issues of drug abuse, alcohol, etc., etc. Looking at key issues that are filters and perpetrators of this same thing. So I think it's evil. It's not right that our women should not feel safe with us. But I think actually it is more dangerous when even our men also are not feeling safe by themselves.
All right.
And I want to look at this thing maybe more at a psychological level to say it is a cry for help.
I was going to ask you to talk about that, the psyche, the men's psyche, the African men's psyche. We do know the cultural, traditional, and religious upbringing of most of our men has been to dominate, to be providers, but the psyche of the men in our day, how does it look like, and what drives men to do?
Men are slow. Women are fast. Men are slow. Because we are the storehouses of cultural information. So when changes come, our women and children are
take on the new paradigm
very fast. But at the end of the day, even at this generation, I still expect my wife to bring me a plate of food and a dish of water to wash. I am educated. I hold a few qualifications behind my back. By no means is it a way of undermining her, but culturally, I'm wired. And no matter how many books I've read, you cannot change the entire information I've gathered for 47 years because I've read an article on Facebook. So I think that maybe the disparity that in the midst of us promoting and educating our female species, we don't have a similar robust process of maybe upgrading, educating, sharing information with our men. And even when you share with them to say change to what?
Exactly.
Change to what? Because ultimately it comes back to African culture versus Western culture, versus Chinese culture and Indian culture. Now, if an Indian is not expected to change, the Chinaman does not have to change.
Why should an African?
The white man actually does not need to change. There is only one person here who must change? Then for us as thinkers, we say, maybe there's nothing to change. Leave it as it is.
But let's talk about the contribution of the religious aspects to this whole situation. Some of these crimes we've seen that have been perpetrated actually are done by believers, people who believe. What is the role of religion in perhaps correcting this situation? Because the church has to be relevant on these social issues.
The religious space, the spiritual space, whether it be African indigenous churches, African cultural belief systems, modern Christological movements and Pentecostal moves and etc., satanic and Illuminatis and everything, all of them put together, who are actually in the business of harvesting human body parts and etc. At the end of the day, if you follow them to where they are going to worship. They are going to an altar. So actually religion is the sponsor, the chief sponsor of women abduction and all this. And next to that the medical field, where they're using cheaper economies to harvest parts for the first world countries who will no longer have stock for that kind of thing. But coming back on religion, it is as people believe, so they will behave. And up and until we begin to teach people correctly the power of the ritual of Jesus and the blood of Jesus, the life of Jesus, being a replacement of all other forms of sacrifices, and how to apply that sacrifice at an equal value at which you can kill a human being to get that. Africa thinks like that. Christianity comes and says, don't, but again you're asking them to psych. The psych has not yet moved to say, I don't need to kill a chicken. Jesus has died. I don't need to kill a son.
Jesus
I don't need to
died.
kill Isaac. The Messiah will come. So the quality of information in terms of our dogmatics, in terms of our theological training for the African people, must not undermine the thinking of the African person. So that when you're teaching the sacrifice of Jesus, don't hang him on the cross.
And take it the
and you leave him there and say, no, he hung on the cross. He died so that we can be saved. That makes totally no sense. A man dies. But if you go back and say, you want to break free from this thing, go and kill this, go and kill this. And then you introduce this blood as a claim over this, we could begin to talk. So we need actually an adaptation. Unfortunately, our theology has been written by sorry, the language, Europeans sitting on a lake somewhere in Canada and thinking, what does the African need to hear? And they come here and some of that information is totally irrelevant. When your child dies, your mother is sick, someone's knocked by a car, things happen in one day. By sunset, we will find people will be saying, these things are things of the people.
All right. Chilano,
you know what they say? So automatically a human being begins to say, this Christianity does not give me immediate answers
to my situation,
to these
problems.
And until theology breaks in to find you at that moment and say, when it happens like this, do this and this and this, then your issue is solved.